I would love to say that as a woman in property, I've never had to use resilience as a scenario, but actually every woman in property can talk about the resilience that they've had to show.
I was made a partner while I was on maternity leave. So I'd been out of the market, was suddenly promoted to partner, which was something that I really wanted and was really exciting, but I came back to work with no work because I'd been out of the market, a slightly different team, and having to rebuild that practice from scratch and really live up to the expectation of being a partner. Well, it made me feel a little bit stressed. I had the weight of expectation of the firm and not wanting to let the partners down, and also wanting to do the right thing by my family.
I started with the business as a contractor in finance, not really knowing where my career was actually headed. And within the first 6 months of starting the role, my manager was made redundant. And I was thrown into a number of restructures, including offshoring the finance function to the Philippines and having to make more than half of my team redundant. The only thing to do was to move forward and try to go one step at a time and embrace every day for what it is.
I think resilience is a key factor in anyone's career. Let's talk about being a leasing agent for 30 years and then stepping out for 22 months and then coming back as head of ESG. That was really interesting and exciting, but I had to back the fact that I could make the transition.
One of the big ones was when I took on the big role at property management at CBRE, and again most recently when I took on the new role at ISPT. So both of those scenarios were very new and very different, stepping up to a big role.
A recent project that we had, a week before that project was ready to start, the charity partner came to us and we couldn't fulfil that project. For that moment, it was kind of, what do I do next?
The scenario that comes to mind for me was this pivotal point in my career where all the pillars were starting to change. So it was my work, it was my family, it was my home. I left my career at the time in M&A and joined this wonderful team with a couple months old baby because it was a value-based decision and it aligned to me.
When I first started at Charter Hall, it was all new to me because I started with an audit background and coming into a commercial senior accountant role. The accountant in our team, who used to be the AR manager, went on mat leave. On top of that was the COVID lockdown. So it was 2-3 months in and then straight into lockdown. So felt a bit overwhelming and alone at home.
Back when I was at Challenger, I was working as a development finance manager, and the development manager who was working on my project left, and I was tapped on the shoulder and asked to switch. I was terrified. I didn't think I knew how to do the job. I had to be really brave. I had to try new things that I never thought that I'd be able to do. I think the first time I really had to show resilience was when I didn't get a promotion I was expecting. I thought I deserved it, I'd worked extremely hard for it, and to not be given it was a great shock. And I had to show up the next day with the same level of dedication, the same motivation, the same energy.
When I took over as MD, a couple of months into the role, COVID hit. So it was a step up for me anyways to step into that MD role and then to have not only a complete restructure of the business, but then also a pandemic, and to be managing through those things at the same time was challenging. Communication with the team, working as a team, and really relying on everyone was key.
I think it's really important for women in the industry to be resilient because we're not anywhere near where we need to be on numbers, on pay, on representation. We need to be positive and future focused.
The property industry is very volatile.
You absolutely need resilience. The property industry is the biggest asset class in Australia. So it's fast moving, it's always growing.
One of my great mentors said to me, well, just fake it till you make it.
I think as women, we often think that we need to be 100% certain in everything we do.
Surround yourself with people that can fill your gaps.
Importantly, it's also the really proactive men that you should align yourself with, and that they don't see gender as a barrier.
But really it's about stretching out, stretching up and stretching down.
If you just take every opportunity that comes to you, if you just have a go, that's the best way to build resilience.
Talking it through, hashing it through.
It's very important to talk, whether that be positive, whether that be negative.
To see it as a learning opportunity and an opportunity to embrace change and opportunity for personal growth.
number one, look after yourself. Everyone is talented, everyone's got amazing skills to bring to the table. When you're in top form, you can bring those skills to the table in the best way possible.
I go back to the notion of backing yourself. The chances are you can do this, and if you put your mind to it, you can probably do it pretty well.